Welcome to WakeGOV TV. I'm Eric Curry. We have several stories for you today, but first, 2012 marked the end of an exciting and challenging year for the Wake County Board of Commissioners, which included picking a new chair for 2013. Commissioner Joe Bryan was chosen among his peers to lead the board for this year. And joining us to talk about what we can look forward to is the new chairman, Joe Bryan. Thank you for being here.
Eric, thank you.
First,
pleasure to be here.
This is the third time that you've led the Board of Commissioners. You did it in 2005 and 2008. What makes this year's term different than the past two terms?
Well, I've really enjoyed being one of your Wake County Commissioners for the last 10 years, and I would say that the challenges are always there to make sure that we're providing solutions so that Wake County continues to be one of the best places to live in America. But the economy has changed. You know, in 2005, the economy was much better. 2008, we were just entering the beginning of a really difficult period in the economy. 2013, here the theme that I hope to move forward for the county is the economy is getting a little bit better. We'll list a couple of economists here at the first of the year, and they all say it's going to be slightly better. We may have about $17 million of extra revenue on a $940 million budget to be able to move forward with some items. Last year, we were very successful with the Wake Tech bond issue. It's about jobs and about getting people trained and education, and the public overwhelmingly passed that, over 70% of the public voting for that Wake Tech bond. This year, we still have a lot of growth. We have 3,000 to 5,000 young people coming in, and I'm hopeful that we will be in a position to have a school bond issue this fall. I'm looking at reestablishing and building partnerships so that, again, what are ways that we can leverage these hard-earned taxpayer dollars to accomplish partnerships across the board. And in fact, it takes all of us to kind of get these things done. No one entity can do it on their own.
You mentioned the support of citizens of the Wake Tech bond last year, but there were also a number of other accomplishments that the board can really talk about. Maintaining the AAA credit rating, also maintaining the same property tax rate that we've had the past 4 years, when many municipalities across the country cannot say the same. Also, Wake County opened the detention center, and then this summer we're expected to open the new Justice Center. How do you plan to try to keep that momentum going?
Well, first of all, I certainly would compliment Chairman Paul Coble. He was the right person to lead our board the last 2 years. And again, when you talk about that AAA bond rating, there's only a handful of counties across America that have a AAA rating by Standard & Poor's, Moody, and Fitch. It speaks to the financial strength, and then in turn our ability to be able to borrow money at very low interest rates and save our citizens dollars. Still moving forward in that economy with finishing on time and below budget jails to Justice Center in this economic climate was significant. And also things like that weren't mentioned, that animal welfare. We did a lot within our animal shelter, and to be a great place for pets as well here in Wake County. We've got generally the same board. We're fortunate to have a really strong staff led by our county manager, David Cook, and that momentum of setting goals and having a collaborative effort, great discussion, engaging the community in what I'd call a grand public policy debate, getting it out there to see where the community is as far as do they buy into these goals that the commissioners will establish in February.
Mm-hmm. And a final question, in just a few weeks, the board will hold its annual retreat to set goals for 2013. Can you tell us a little bit about the plans for that day and how you hope it will go?
Well, the preliminary agenda that we approved at the last Board of Commissioners meeting starts us out with hearing from all 12 municipalities. Then we will hear from Jonna Rogers on our economics. And there's, again, even though we'll probably hear that things are slightly better than they've been in the past, but there will be also this large list of wants, some needs out there. As usual, we'll set these goals, but prioritize those goals, and my guess it will continue to be toward economic development and toward education, public safety, and human services, but it may also include some additional goals that we've always focused on, like mental health. And then that will set the roadmap for the staff and the board to work and focus on for the next year.
Well, Chairman Bryan, it is always a pleasure to have you here on WakeGOV TV, and good luck to you as you lead the board in 2013.
Thank you so much, Eric.
When we return, we will discuss another board decision that affects boards and commissions and how citizens can serve on those committees. Stay tuned.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite.
Unearth hidden passion.
So mama, have a good time. One book could be the first little thing that helps to change a life. Book people unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
And welcome back to WakeGOV TV. Joining me right now is Wake County Commissioner Phil Matthews, who was reappointed to serve as Vice Chair of the Board for 2013. Commissioner Matthews is here to talk about the changes to the number of commissions and boards which are predominantly filled by citizens that donate their time and service to the county. Thank you for taking the time to be with us.
Good to be here,
today.
and thank you for allowing me to come in and chat with you about this.
Yeah, Commissioner Matthews, first, can you share with us why there was a need to change the number and focus of the many boards that we have here in the county?
Absolutely. This really came about initially, probably when I first came on a couple of years ago. As board appointments, we were given a very thick book and of all the boards and requirements and who were serving on those. And so I got with our clerk, Susan Banks, as well as Denise Hogan, which is her administrative assistant. And we started looking at these things. So I got with the board and said, why don't we review these boards, see if we can consolidate, maybe some need eliminating. It's not really been looked at for many years. So when somebody volunteers for a board, it will be a good working board, not just occasionally meets with not much responsibility. So we did just that, and that's what brought it about. We had 72 boards at that time. Some of them met annually, some met when needed, and some never had met for the most part. We made a recommendation, we drew it down from 72 boards to now 66 boards, but these are genuine working boards. And one of the boards, matter of fact, when they thought we were going to get rid of it, they really came together and demonstrated what all they did do, and they wanted to make sure that board stayed in place, and we took their advice, and that board is actively working good now. So it was a little bit of a wake-up call for some, but it cleaned it up quite a bit, so now we've got 66 out of the 72.
Commissioner, how will this change in the restructuring help with the effectiveness of these boards and commissions?
If people are going to volunteer their time and talents, we want to make sure that it's going to be to a board that they'll enjoy working on, plus give us valuable feedback on things that they find out, because we depend on these boards. You can take the Board of Adjustment or Planning Board. These are the specialists in their field, and they give us valuable feedback. So when we make decisions, one of the first things, for example, on the Planning Board, we'll have that chair in there. How did the board vote on this, and what were the issues? So there are 11 new municipal planning boards. There are 11 municipal boards of adjustments and 10 firemen's relief boards, and these are required by general statute, so they have to be there. Those type boards, there's never been an issue really to get those filled. But the volunteers, we respect their time, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to condense these down so people could serve on them, know it was an active board, and what they were doing made a big difference in county government. So I think we accomplished that.
And finally, how can citizens make a difference and join one of these boards
Absolutely.
or commissions in the future?
Absolutely. They can go to our new website, which we're very proud of, by the way. It's WakeGOV.com, and go to the Board of Commissioners webpage, and there they'll find a list of boards, and they can always call up here and speak to Denise Hogan, which she tracks those and lets us know who's on it when a board is opening coming up. And there are often people coming off the board, and for whatever reason they say, well, I don't want to serve it again, I've done my time, openings pop up, and she can update them when those boards are opening up. So again, that website will give you a list of all of them, the duties, and what's coming up available, and that's the initial way to start. Or they're welcome to contact any county commissioner. We'll be glad to talk to them about it.
Well, Commissioner, thank you so much for joining us and talk about this.
Absolutely.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll tell you what county staff does to ensure that citizens with wells are drinking safe water, and what Wake County Animal Shelter is doing with a new grant to improve its services. Stay tuned.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Wake County's Water Quality Division works to ensure that all of the water resources in Wake County are healthy and sustainable, and that surface waters are not contaminated. This comprehensive approach helps ensure the quality of life enjoyed and shared by all citizens of Wake County. The groundwater section, which provides well testing, has seen an increase in the number of requests for services as the result of several wells within the county testing positive for contaminants in the late summer of 2012. Greg Bright supervises the groundwater program.
One of the most frequent questions we get is, how often should I have my well tested? And the general advice is to have your well tested once a year for bacteria. Approximately every 5 or 6 years you should test for inorganics, which is a test for metals and minerals that you find in your water. And the new thinking is to test every couple of years for volatile organics. Now, we also advise customers when something changes with their water quality. Maybe they start to see a different color in the water, maybe the taste changes or they smell an odor. Obviously, that's a good time to have you work in the county. If you choose to go through Wake County to have your water tested, there's a couple options within Wake County. There's a couple of tests, the bacteria and the inorganic tests that I spoke of. A customer can self-collect those tests by getting the kits from either Human Services or one of the regional centers. Or we can come out and collect that test for an additional charge of $50. A couple of samples that you can choose to self-collect, one being a bacteriological and one being an inorganic. Now the bacteriological bottle is going to look like this, and before you collect the sample, the instructions that you're going to receive from the lab is going to ask you to disinfect the strainer or the faucet. So if you can unscrew the faucet strainer, just take a cotton swab that you've poured alcohol on, or an alcohol wipe, and basically sanitize the outside of the faucet. Then the instructions are going to ask you to let the water run for approximately 5 minutes. The purpose of this, running the water for 5 minutes, is to allow the water to flow out of the lines and actually get a representative sample of what the water is like in the well. You want to remove the cap carefully. Carefully place the container under the water. And the important thing is to make sure that you fill the container completely. That's for the lab to properly analyze the sample. Now, the other test we mentioned was an inorganic analysis, and you should be getting 2 of these containers from the lab to process all the different type testing they need to do. So I like to rinse this container out at least once or twice, and fill this bottle all the way to the top as well. Once you've got them filled, cap them securely, and pay attention to the custody sheet that's going to be provided with you. You'll need to fill this out completely, and there are instructions on the back of the sheet which tell you how to collect the samples, and also instructions on delivering the samples to the laboratory. And bring them back to the Human Services lab, and they will process them. But once the test is submitted to the laboratory, depending on the type of test, it's either processed by the Human Services laboratory here at Wake County, or it's shipped over to the State Laboratory of Public Health for analysis. If the results come back indicating there's contamination, let's take it by sample type. For example, a bacteriological analysis may indicate total or fecal coliform present. We're going to recommend to the customer to have that well chlorinated, disinfected using a chlorine product. And there are instructions on our website of how to do that. Also, you could contract with a well contractor. Now, for the volatile organics and the inorganics, if we see a level of a constituent that's above the safe limit recommended by EPA, we will refer those results to the state toxicologist who works with the Division of Health and Human Services. The toxicologist will perform a health risk evaluation, and we will forward that to the customer. And if the level is high enough, he may determine that water is not safe for drinking. Just like having an annual physical or having your car tuned up, your well needs to be tested occasionally just to make sure that the water from that well is safe to drink.
I think my purse is upstairs on the bed. It's not here. Check the dining room. No. The upstairs closet?
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
So, I got this new family. And I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy. Oh, and she even talks to it. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
It's a new and exciting year for the staff at the Wake County Animal Center, and there's no better time than now to find out how to take care of your pets for the upcoming spring and summer months. But also, there's some exciting new projects underway at the center thanks to a grant received by the staff. And joining me in this segment is Dr. Jennifer Federico, the director of the Wake County Animal Center. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I guess the first question is, let's talk about this grant and why it's such big news for the staff at the center.
Well, we've actually received, luckily, 2 grants. So the first grant is from Petco, and it was a celebration of 100 shelters, and we were one of the 100, and the top 10 by voting received $10,000, and we were, I believe, number 6. So we fortunately received a $10,000 grant from them. We have also received a grant from PetSmart. We partnered with them to do a huge 2-day adoption event, and in exchange for that, we were awarded a $10,000 grant for making that possible. So we have those grant funds to use. What we've done is solicited ideas from our staff, volunteers, foster families, and we have narrowed the list down to about 6 top things we'd like to do. So we're in the process right now of getting estimates on all of those, including making a dog park at the center for our long-term housed dogs so our volunteers can take them out to run around, putting a sound system in, different harnesses for the dogs. So our staff and volunteers have really come up with a lot of great ideas for how to use this money to benefit the animals and enrich their lives.
And these grants, receiving these grants, while it is an honor, you cannot forget to mention that obviously if it were not for the cooperation between both staff and volunteers, that obviously these grants may not have been awarded to the Wake County Animal Center. So you've got to feel good about that.
Oh, absolutely. It just shows how enthusiastic and passionate all of our staff and volunteers and fosters are to help us win things like these grants, because it shows how committed they are to the Animal Center and helping us do more for the animals.
You know, while most family pets are kept indoors during the winter months, just around the corner, and I'm hoping, just like a lot of folks that grew up in the South, that we get warm weather soon. What should you do as a pet owner to prepare your animal for longer hours outdoors, walking on trails and in wooded areas?
There's a lot of things you can do, and first and foremost is keeping them up to date on their preventative care. Most people think about fleas and ticks in the summer months only. However, being in the South, it is a problem year-round, and things I'm going to mention are actually things you should make sure you're doing consistently every month. One of them is heartworm prevention. Heartworms are transmitted by mosquitoes, And although we don't see as many in the winter, it's still possible because we have warmer times down here in the south. So it is recommended to make sure your pet is on heartworm prevention every month, all year round. Then you have your flea and tick prevention. Again, recommended every month, all year round. So if you're already doing that, great, you're ready for summer as far as your preventive care that way. The other thing you want to make sure of is that your pets are up to date on their vaccines. Besides the core vaccines that your veterinarian would tailor for your pet's needs, the most important is rabies. Especially if you're going to be outdoors, you want to make sure that they are up to date and protected. It's very easy to keep them protected, and it affords you the peace of mind if they do get into a scuffle with an animal outside or get bit, that they have that protection already on board, and then your vet can follow up and just rebooster them at that time.
As a veterinarian yourself, why is it important for pet owners to stay on top of these things? Because a lot of pet owners now are going to the mail order route and getting the medicines that way. But how important is it for pet owners to take their pets to a local veterinarian for that one-on-one interaction?
So you can order whatever you want online, but you're not customizing it to your pet, and your veterinarian is the best knowledge base to tailor a program for your pet. There are core vaccines that every pet needs, but maybe your lifestyle dictates that this other vaccine is necessary, or maybe you don't need this one because your cat never goes outside. But that's the knowledge base that your veterinarian has, that they can afford to tailor it towards your pet's needs. The other important part is our pets age faster than us, the 1 to 7 years. You need to have at least a yearly check of your pet, because your vet is skilled and trained to find things that you may not notice and to catch disease early on. And again, older pets, they may need blood work, dental cleanings. A lot of people don't think about their pets needing dental care. That is a huge part, and if you going to your vet can tell you when you're getting to that point, when your pet needs it, and to keep your pet healthy and happy for a lifetime.
And where can citizens find out more about not only vaccinating their animals, but adopting animals currently at the center?
So you can go to our website, which is www.wakegov.com/pets. It will have all of our available animals for adoption. It will also list when we have rabies clinics in the spring. They're usually rabies and microchip clinics, so if your pet gets lost, you can get him back. As far as other preventive care and vaccines, your best bet is to call your local veterinarian. They will be the best ones to guide you for your pet's needs.
Okay, great. Dr. Federico, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. When we return, we'll talk about an exciting reading program aimed at elementary age kids.
If stormwater pollution was rubber duckies, it wouldn't matter what went down our storm drains. But it does, because stormwater pollution is not rubber duckies. It's trash, oil, cigarette butts, and pet waste flowing untreated to the sea. That's not good for any of us, because we all live downstream.
Brought to you by Clean Water Education Partnership, protecting water for North Carolina's people.
Welcome back. Wake County Libraries will begin to kick off an exciting program aimed at promoting the love of reading. The Every Reader Ready to Succeed campaign begins this month and reinforces literacy skills and encourages creative thinking for children kindergarten through 5th grade. Joining us to talk about this wonderful program is Ann Burlingame, Deputy Director with the Wake County Library System. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This program, the Every Reader Ready to Succeed campaign, it's the first of its kind, obviously, in the Wake County Library System. What makes this program special?
Well, what the library is trying to do is reach out to those school-age children that often we lose when they go to school because they have less time to come to the library. So we are creating a vibrant program that complements the elementary school curriculum, but does so in a way that is hands-on and very interesting to children.
Now, what makes this program different from similar programs that the library system has offered, such as the very successful summer reading program, which parents and children look forward to every year?
Well, I think what we're trying to do is build on that success, because our summer reading program is very popular with school-age children. But I think what happened in the past is we didn't have enough during the school year to keep them coming to the library. So the goals of Every Reader Ready to Succeed is to create an experience all year long for the school-age child.
And now, what can the parents and the children expect in this program, and you know, how long is this series?
Well, it'll go for 3 months. So this is our winter series, January, February, and March. And each week we're going to have a program that focuses on a different experience. 1 week it'll be Create. And on the Create week, we're going to be focusing on arts and crafts and creating. We'll have 1 week where we're doing science. And on that week, we will make something like we learn about volcanoes, and then the children are going to get to make a volcano. So what we're really trying to do is turn these programs into activities where children can have some hands-on fun, but also learn a little bit. And also it will market our collections, because we have a large book collection with lots of books on science, lots of books on exploring, and so our programs will kind of complement the book collection.
Now, 18 of the 20 county libraries will take part in this program. Will all of the programs be identical per library, or will it change?
So our regional libraries have a staff which really does specialize on the smaller groups of children. So we'll have a program for K to 2nd, and we have a program for 3 to 5th. In our community libraries, we're reaching out and a little more generally, and we'll have a program for kindergartens through 5th grade. But all of these programs will be based on those 4 experiences of create, discover, explore, and read.
And why now? Why bring this program to Wake County at this time?
Well, you know, our library has been under some new leadership in the last 3 years, and our library director, Michael Waslick, when he came to this position, felt like the library needed to build the number of programs we offer to children. And while we have a vibrant program for the young child, he really encouraged us to expand what we do for school-age children so they can have a weekly experience at their public library.
And how can parents and students find out more about this program?
Well, we have a great website, and so if you go to our website, you will learn all about the different programs offered at different libraries. And also we have brochures in the libraries to talk about them.
Okay, well, Ann, thank you so much for coming to the show to talk about this exciting program.
Well, thank you for giving us the opportunity, and we hope to see you all in the public library.
That's all for our show today. Keep up with the latest Wake County news and information by visiting us online at the new WakeGOV.com/news site, or Facebook or Twitter. Thanks for watching.